Hey everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to part 7 of my House in Fata Morgana Let's Play. In the last episode, we felt some betrayal, and Jacapo, I'm saying it correctly this time, Jacapo felt betrayal as his closest friend and oldest friend, Maria. It turns out that she has been behind the scenes this whole time, intentionally creating conflict between the white-haired girl and himself. She obviously hates Jacopo for some reason, and she's got some motive behind wanting to basically destroy his life. We don't know what it is yet. I'm guessing it's something to do with the families, because we learned that, their families are kind of in conflict. And because of this, Maria has been making it seem like the white-haired girl has been cheating on Jacopo, which has culminated in him locking her away in a shed. They've been passing letters off to each other, and Maria has been expertly playing the both of them, but also making it seem like she's on their side. And it just gets worse and worse. But even through all this, Jacopo still has love for the white-haired girl and wants to believe in her. And it's culminating with the opening of the railroad that Jacopo has been working on, and he said that he was going to invite her out and have a talk with her. So hopefully things will work out between them. Hopefully they'll be able to actually have a discussion and realize that they're both mistaken about each other. But I have a feeling it's not going to end that way. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can wrap up this third door today. I'm not quite sure how long it is, but it feels like it's going to be reaching its culmination soon. The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing nearer by the day. That day was coincidentally the deadline the two of them had set for themselves. Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as that day approached, she continued to write letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. I hope. It won't. It probably won't. Maria probably has some plan to have this end the way she wants. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they were first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently awaited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Okay, so it looks like it will be finishing soon. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that final day. See with your own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand. The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even gotten physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. Oh, you were doing that stuff before that idea was in your head. Of course, the very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not in fact taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung on to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her. Are you awake? It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation. And as such, I will not enter your room until you have given me your permission. I hope something hasn't happened to the white-haired girl. Maybe she's already dead at this point. So may I please come in? You won't even give me a response. All right. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in. But please at least hear me out, because, like, the white-haired girl was definitely having a breakdown at the end of the last episode. Like, she was saying that, I think she said, like, she was clinging on, like, I will give him this much more time, and, like, I think she said until the railroad is completed, and then if he doesn't respond to me, I'm leaving. Do you remember the day shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon? If you can even call the little walk we took a honeymoon. I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. I'm sure I said things to hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the phenectoscope— oh my god, there's that word again. Phenectoscope. You smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt it was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete on the same fields as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of that sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in a phenectoscope at all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, if just for a moment, I caught your eye, even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was at its core nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day, I loved you. I yearned to see you smile, as if I had loved you my entire life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but a railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. A joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute. And the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured a telegraph so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station. Aww. I know he's an asshole, but, like, he's trying. Like, he's willing to forego this grand event he's been planning for all of this time just to, like, make it comfortable for her. But here, you can celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Or maybe he's going, but he's having it so that, like, she can still hear it. Would you be there at my side? Please, say something. Something happened to her. She would respond. She would. If something hadn't happened, I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself. Wow. An apology without it. Just like, don't say that, dude. You leave that part out. Although I know that he truly, genuinely believes that she cheated, so. But what I did is unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. Wow. I only hurt you and locked you away just because I love you so much. Like, oh, God, Jacapo, man. I know he's not a faultless character. And that's what I like about these characters, is like, they're not black and white. You sympathize with them, but you're also like, oh, dude, no, don't say that. I swear it. Why will you not answer me? Say something. Anything. Please. Please. You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. I won't hurt you. I promise. Oh. The door is not locked? Uh-oh. Who opened it? Hello? Oh god, did Maria kill the white-haired girl because he saw that, like, they were about to meet up with each other and everything would come out and be found out as lies, so Maria's probably like, I gotta get rid of her. A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtains appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in her room. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes, it was pale and hollow, for the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk. I bet it's the phenecoscope or whatever it's called. Yep, the phenecoscope. It was the one present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the I gotta hate this word. Phenakitoscope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of that day the year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter. Beneath. Oh, shit. Did she leave? Like, has she already left at this point? Or is this like a letter that she hadn't sent to him yet, so maybe he'll realize all this time she was sending the letters to him? Beneath the ever-rotating phenakitoscope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mio, Jacopo. The salutation, written in his native language, translated as follows. My beloved Jacopo. Did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. It's weird that it's kind of like spaced out weird. Am I just looking too much into this? I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave the Phenecus wheel. Am I being presumptuous? I'm sorry. It just could be because she just lost her mind at this point. I thought I would keep waiting for you forever, no matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I am not good enough for you. I am going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. So literally one day if she just waited. I wonder if Maria kind of like pushed her to leave earlier because Maria knew that Jacopo was going to go see her. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, a record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blur. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry, this was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Phenecus wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. And of course not, her name's not on it. 5/8/1869. What? What the hell is this? He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letter she had written, her dearest treasure, her profession of love for him, and above all, the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Well, when you're locked away in a room for months, it's gonna happen. It was probably Maria saying that the whole witch thing, that might have what pushed her. That might have been what pushed her. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement. You waited for me? How can that be? The joining ceremony is tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. Why? Why did you have to leave then? Oh shit. Oh shit. Because she was saying, like, I thought you would have invited me, maybe because of the... Okay, the date probably has something to do with it, right? Like, because the date at the end, so maybe Maria, because obviously the white-haired girl, like, she's not like she's got a phone on her, or any sort of calendar, I imagine. So maybe Maria told her that it had already happened. Because, like, the white-haired girl isn't going to have track of time, I imagine. I'm here. I came for you, just as I planned. That makes sense, because I was like, oh, why didn't the white-haired girl wait? It's probably because she thought, yeah, it had already happened. The ceremony is on the 10th. A second later, Jacapo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th. Oh, 1869. However, due to bad weather and a labor dispute, it had been postponed for 2 days. God damn. Okay, so it wasn't Maria in this case. It was just bad luck. This can't be. I made sure you were informed. Oh. It's funny. Literally, every time I say something, the next sentence, it is like, oh, okay, never mind. So it was Maria was probably like, I told Maria to tell you. I had Maria. Maria, the madam is having an affair. Maria, no, you couldn't. Scattered fragments of memory began coming together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him of his wife's supposed unfaithfulness, and though the letters had not been addressed to him, thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter she had mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man, but in fact, she had been referring to the phenaketoscope sitting atop her desk, still spinning in the wind. At long, long last, he finally made that connection. Or if you had just talked to your wife, this would have been cleared up a long time ago. And at the same time, he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted, Maria. Never. She never, even once, betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited unwaveringly for me. And I refused to believe her. I caused her pain again and again. But his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken, and she was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out as they had. But he was much too late. Maria, why? Why would you do this? Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. I wonder if he's gonna kill Maria. We know he's got a temper. But she was not in the room assigned to her. Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! There was also, when she was in the cellar, there was that weird thing from herself, like, that she had written. Something about the witch of the mansion. So maybe she'll be cursed. Maybe Maria's already dead at this point. Maybe the witch's curse got her. Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, but no one had the courage to speak up as the master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually, he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he'd closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. Ooh, here comes the showdown. From within the room, he thought he could sense someone's presence. When he opened the door, there he saw, comfortably perched upon his own chair, a woman. I've been waiting, Jacopo. Oh, damn, look at her. She is like... Oh, she's even doing like... Oh, she looks scary. She is reveling in this. Damn. Nice room you got here. Though, I guess that's only natural. You being the man of the house and all. All these fancy furnishings. You do know this stuff's too good for you, right? And then me, I get that barren little maid's room. Drives me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Clear the air with your little lady yet? Maria. Haha, I love that look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better then? This music feels like this is like the final boss fight. You know, good and well. that she's not even here anymore. Well, yeah, but I still want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear from your own mouth that you couldn't keep a leash on your woman, so you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Oh yeah, I imagine that news is gonna come back to the family. I can't remember what the term for it is, but Jacapo, I wonder if he's just gonna lose everything, because that's what his father said, right? Is like, you have to have a good I think he said specifically about cheating, but like, your woman has to respect you. So the fact that like, he tortured his wife until she just ran away from him, that's not gonna look good for Jacapo. Ha ha ha. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse, and start shouting like you always do. Why, Maria? Why would you do this? Why? Why do you think? Because I fucking despise you. I'd been trying to figure out how I wanted to end things, but then they just fell apart on their own. The fates are smiling down upon me, I guess. Nonsense. She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony, and I was going to see her all that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed. That's what you get for putting it all in my hands, for thinking I'm the only one on your side. What, did you think I'd just tell her like a good little maid? Not a chance in hell. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but you got the days different. Absolutely perfect. Maria, is that how you've always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me? How long? How long? How goddamn dense can you be? Must be nice living in your own little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next there's another word I can't say. Capofamigilia? Oh my god, my sides. So you've always hated me. At the very least. I fucking loathe you since the minute we had our reunion. At first, I did try to convince myself you had your reasons. Didn't make it feel any less unfair, though. You had all your money and all your power and everything else you stole from me. And then you go and get hitched to this pretty little lady. Oh, don't try to act like you're the victim here. This is all on you. Do you have any idea how I felt? Fallen from grace, made your goddamn maid, having to suck up to you? Do you have any idea how infuriating that was? Or did you think I didn't know anything? Alright, let's get into the backstory of what happened to their family, the family drama after the reunion. Or like, all that stuff that happened in between. Did you think I didn't suspect anything? If you did, then you got your head way up in the clouds. So you were motivated by your grudge against my family, the Berzattis? Precisely. That's exactly it. Your father wanted so bad to be the Capofamiglia, wanted so badly to be in power, that he murdered my dad and grandpa. Oh shit. Okay, you know what? I can understand how she would be a little miffed. They say it was a carriage accident, but the ground was all torn to hell where it happened. Or it could be another situation, like with the white-haired girl and Jacopo, where it's all just a misunderstanding, and maybe none of that actually happened, and she has her hatred based on something that's not true. You want to tell me what kind of carriage accident causes it to explode? As soon as my dad and grandpa died, your dad took over as Capofamiglia. The balance of power in the factions began to change. My family and anyone with ties to the Campanellas were either exterminated or exiled. The Berzattis took control of the city. My grandpa's Casca became your Casca. No one in their right mind would be naive enough to think the Berzattis didn't have a hand in that. The great Campanella family bitten by their pet dog. Except the dog had rabies. And as a result, in time, that lush, historic land will wither away and die. My dad and grandpa, buried in that dried-up earth, are screaming in their graves even now. Yeah, I could see, like, her family gets killed by her family, and then she has to be the maid, you know, when they were in power, and now she's the maid of, like, the person who's next in line. Yeah, I could see how that would upset her, yeah. You can't prove me wrong, can you, Jacopo? And now, first in line to be the next Capofamiglia is you, his son, naturally. It feels pretty good, don't it? Slaughtering my family, leaving us to wallow in the mud. While you live here like a fucking king. Because of what your family did, I don't have a home to go back to anymore. No house, no prestige. I have nothing left. And that's goddamn outrageous. The Campanellas are supposed to run that city. But instead, you filthy Berzati curs are crawling all over it like some kind of infestation. I am a legitimate Campanella, but I'm stuck being your goddamn maid. If I hadn't been born a woman, I could have become the Capo Famigilia after my dad and grandpa died. But because I'm a woman, it was absolutely miserable. So I had to make you suffer as well. I had to make you twice as miserable as I was. You had no reason to hate anyone but me. Why did you make her a part of this? Did you have some grudge against her too? She's like, no, just collateral damage. Not particularly. I actually rather liked the madam. Sweet, pretty, kind-hearted, timid, and fragile. Trusted every word I said. A splendid little toy. You thought of her as your toy? Now, can you really call me out for that? You can't. You have no right. You never cared one bit about anyone else. They're all footstools to you. It's a little too late to find yourself a sense of morality. This whole thing, it could have been avoided if you two just had a single conversation, right? But instead, the both of you come crawling to me, saying, "You're my only ally, Maria." How dense can you be? Of course, I thought you were my ally. I trusted you, as I'm sure she did too. Then you should get your eyes examined, because you can't see a damn thing. Maria. Ha ha ha. My god, it was beautiful. The way you two blindly trusted me, creating your own misunderstandings and causing your own pain. How could you never seem to get on the how you could never seem to get on the same page, watching it all fall apart. Maria. Is that everything? The extent of your grudge and all that you did? Yep. That's everything. All that's left is for me to kill you. Oh shit. Oh damn. Right, the gun. I said it, right? Chekhov's gun when he gave her that, I don't think, he didn't give her the gun. I think he gave her like a bullet or something when they were kids. It's coming back. Hold still now. I wouldn't want to miss. Maria, does our past mean nothing to you? Was that oath just an empty promise? How could it, when you remembered so clearly? Fine, I'll explain it for our little romantic boy. Bad grown-ups will even take advantage of good memories. It's time I finally returned this to you, Jacapo. That cartridge, yep, the cartridge you gave me, packed with your disgusting sentimentality. Oh shit. Ha ha ha, wow, she actually did it. Killing you ain't the end, though. All you Berzati curs. I'll send every last one of you straight to hell. My revenge has just begun. Ha 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 ha. Even if you had been a man, you wouldn't have been a suitable Capo Famigilia. You should have aimed. Oh, between my eyes, Maria! He's gonna kill her! Jacapo! Shit! Damn! What? Why? I mean, I don't think there's... I think it's pretty obvious why. Why? In a panic, I pulled the trigger, and from the barrel a bullet went flying. Quite literally, right between her eyes. Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? Oh, here we go, back to the sentimentality again. The rain just keeps on coming. I wonder if maybe Jacopo will, like, bring her body back and bury it at their house, the Cosca, or whatever it's called. I wonder if we'll be able to go home today. Hey, Jacopino, say something, you little wuss. Be quiet. You're gonna give me a headache. The lightning's way louder than me. Eek! Ha! You jumped, Jacopino. You're such a baby. You jumped too, and stop calling me that. Don't be scared. Don't cry. I am not crying. Your eyes are damp too. I'm not crying. Not at all. Not one bit. Liar. Ha ha. There's no end to this rain, is there? I'm fine if it doesn't stop. There's nothing at home for me. You don't want to go home? Your parents don't get along, huh? That's got nothing to do with it. Liar. You've got it good. Everyone loves your grandpa. Whenever anyone needs something, they come to him. Now there's a great man. huh? How did my grandpa become part of this? I wonder if Jacapo knew deep down that his family was behind it, and he was just in denial. Oh, no reason. Not everyone likes him. He gets just as much hate as love. Grandpa's not really a model citizen. He's mostly just shrewd. Are you jealous? I'm not. My old man is, though. Huh, is he now? Well, your dad's got his good points too, I think. Like, I don't know, he seems like the kind of man who could accomplish big things. Though he seems a lot stricter than my grandpa. Oh, come on, I don't get you. What are you clamming up for? No reason. If you don't want to go home then, how about we go somewhere far away from here? Huh? Once it stops raining, let's get out of here. Head up to the capital, find some work. We could make it work, the two of us. Oh, and we'll bring Nero, of course. If we could, that would be nice. Break free of this city and its outdated traditions. Head somewhere bigger, more forward-thinking. If only it were possible. It's all right, Maria. I know you were just joking. We wouldn't be able to find work anyway. The two of us ran off, we'd be starving in a month. You'd have to be blind not to see that. Right. Let's go home once the rain lets up. Yeah, once it does. But until then, I don't know, let's sing. Sing even louder than the lightning. Then maybe you'll stop crying, Jacopino. I am not crying. Haha. Come on, let's sing. La 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 liro la liro la liro la liro la liro la liro la la. La 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 liro la liro la liro la liro la liro la liro la la. Maria, I may not put it into words, but I trust you understand that I consider you a dear friend. Listen to me, Jacopo. My actions were justified. I did what I did for the betterment of this city, this land. Oh shit, did Jacopo's dad like straight up admit to what he did so Jacopo knew the whole time? The Campanellas are too conservative. Under their control, this country will atrophy. Progress will continue to lose steam. If we don't push forward, we'll fall farther and farther behind. Before long, you will be made the next Capofamiglia. But until that day, you will cross over to the New World and establish the Cosca there. Unify us, bolster us, make us strong. I'll handle things back here. I won't let the Campanellas try and strike back. What? You want Maria to... It's dangerous to keep a Campanella so close by. She has to be taken care of. Oh shit, so like, he knew that they were gunning for Maria, so he brought her with him to protect her. If you insist, but do not let your guard down. Betrayal is the constant companion in this world. I'm giving you my revolver. Damn, keep it on you at all times. Glory everlasting upon our blood, and upon this earth. The best I could give you is a job as my maid. If I show you any more obviously preferential treatment, the Berzattis are liable to step in. Money, power, respect, and enough authority to not take orders from anyone. I thought if I could obtain all that, I would be able to give you your freedom. And her as well. I wanted to give you both comfortable lives. But none of that got through to either of you. It's all misunderstandings, right? That's just what all of this is. Ugh. Everything is slipping through my fingers. Her love, my friendship with Maria, both of their smiles. Master! Master! What was that sound? Eek! So much blood! Maria! What happened this time? You keep getting stuck witnessing the worst things. What? What? Call a doctor. Someone with tight lips. Do not call the police. And don't make a scene. Got it? If so, then go on. Yes, sir. Right. Not everything has slipped from my grasp. My money and influence are all that's left. I imagine he's gonna get even... Like, this is gonna have him become even more just like... I have nothing else to focus on except just becoming more powerful. He's gonna shut himself off even more. That is what you wanted, though, is it not? You sought money and power, no? Aren't you going to go? Yes, I will. But first, I would like to ask you something. What do you intend to do from here? What am I gonna do? Exactly the same as before. There is but one thing for me to do. I see. So she's like, you didn't learn shit. Will you eventually find solace in your riches? The way I see it, money and power can be your ally, but they can become your enemy in the blink of an eye. If you do not put them into words, your feelings will never make it through to anyone. For unlike money, humans are not measurable by their appearance. He failed to communicate to anyone what he had held within his breast. He was chained down by his place in society, his pride, his relationships, and his own heart. And at some point, he found himself in a position where he was no longer able to speak his mind. After enough time, he likely forgot how to be genuine at all. Or perhaps someone like him simply would not, even if they knew how. In any event, there are many things in this world that cannot be communicated without being put into words. How sad that his tale should end without him expressing how he truly felt. How hard it must have been to never clear up his misunderstandings. After Jacapo's confrontation with Maria, the Pacific Railroad was completed as scheduled. Celebratory cheers shook the new world as the last spike was driven into the rails. Jacapo, however, could not even manage a smile listening to the telegraph. And I'm sure you can take a guess as to why. The people with whom he wished to share that moment were not there. Shortly following her death, Jacapo held a private funeral for Maria. Then he commenced a search for the white-haired girl. But he did not do so alone. He hired others to help, did everything in his power to find her, tirelessly searching for many, many years. However, he was never able to locate her, and he spent the remainder of his life alone. Money, power, renown, servants, the world around him was always quite lively, but solitude was his only companion. He waited and waited and waited for the white-haired girl to return. The years crawled by, and with no family or loved ones at his side to care for him in old age, he died alone. Damn. That was, it was depressing. I mean, they all are, but... The door before you slowly drew shut. You could no longer hear the raucous sounds of the men from within the den. The faint scent of cigarette smoke, however, lingered in the air. Staring vaguely at the closed door, you noticed something was amiss. The maid, who had been holding your hand, was no longer at your side. You glanced around, but she was nowhere in sight. Down the corridor stretched only darkness. Not having anticipated this, you were unsure how to react. What's the matter? You lost, or are you just trying to take in the sights? A voice called out to you, but it was not the maid's voice. Caught off guard, you spun around, confused, in search of the source. Where are you looking? I'm over here. Yeah, there you go. A little more to the left. Following the voice's instructions, you found yourself facing a wall. You look like you've just seen a ghost. Hey now, come on, don't turn away. Oh, this is like before the painting. What was his name? I called him Mikhail, but that's... I don't think that was how you pronounced it. People told me how to pronounce it. Are we going to get to see him again in the painting? Yep, you got it. I'm the one talking to you. The voice was coming from within the painting. When you had passed by this wall on your way to the third door, a magnificent landscape painting had been hanging there. But now, the canvas was a deep shade of black, as if it had been dipped into a vat of ink. Been a while since I've talked to anyone, so tell me, you can hear me all right, can't ya? Splendid. Been so long since I've had a conversation, I was afraid I might have forgotten how to talk. So tell me, who might you be? You don't know? Well, isn't that quite the pickle? And how about we have a little chat, eh? You got yourself turned around and aren't sure where to go, yeah? Well, I'll be happy to tell you anything I can, just ask away. The painting sounded rather high-spirited. Perhaps he was simply excited to have the opportunity to speak with someone. So you decided you would ask the painting a few questions. Oh, we're actually going to have a choice here. Oh, okay. Alright, let's save first, just in case. Whenever there's, like, options for choice, I'm like, oh, we'll make a save. Who are you? Hopefully I can ask all of these questions and not only, like, one question. Me? Well, as you can see, I'm a painting. Why did I end up as a painting? Hard to say. Maybe I was reborn as a painting because I used to really like art? Though there are things I painted that I wish I hadn't. Maybe that regret's what's turned me into this. Oh shit! Is the man in the painting, is that the white-haired girl's dad who painted the Mel picture? The picture of Mel and the girl with the white hair, and that's kind of what, like, ruined his whole life? Well, I mean, that's not what ruined his life. What ruined his life was having an affair with the woman of the house. Hopefully I get the chance to apologize to him about that. Like, it sounds like he wants to apologize to the father of Mel and Nellie. Anywho, no point in getting into any more detail than that. Wouldn't mean anything to you, so enough about me. Oh right, you don't know anything about yourself. Ashamed that. Alright then, a favor for you, since you can't tell me about yourself. If you run into him, could you tell him I really regret what I did? I know I should tell him myself, but, well, as you can see, I'm stuck here. Can't move an inch, so I've got to ask for help. I feel absolutely terrible about painting that picture. I know, yeah, the deadline's way past on that one. But that's what makes it regret, yeah? Because you can't take it back. By the time I'd realized it, it was too late. He was already dead. Oh, okay, never mind. So it's something completely different. He's long since passed away. Huh? How are you supposed to give a dead fellow a message? Well, for all you know, the dead could be wandering these halls, too. So please, if you come across him, tell him I said that. Well, maybe he just meant by the time, like, he had the regrets and he wanted to apologize the guy was already dead. So maybe the people that I've encountered in these doors, maybe they will be wandering the halls, and maybe I can talk to them and get some more information. Maybe I will see Mel's family. Maybe I will see Jacapo, because it said that he died alone. Maybe he died alone in this house. But I didn't mean any harm with that painting. Or maybe you are him? Okay, good. I can ask multiple questions. Who am I? I doubt I'll just get to have someone tell me right now. Just because you don't know who you are doesn't mean you can go around asking other people. I'm not a person, you say? Well, no, you're right, but I'm not going to know anything about you that you can't tell me yourself. I mean, from where I'm standing, you look almost like a walking cloud of shadow. I can't even tell you what you look like. The maid who was with you before, did she call you master? I see. But the question is, which era's master are you? How many doors have you been through? 3 doors, eh? And of those, did any of them bring anything back? Ah, well, it's not an easy thing recovering yourself. Or maybe you weren't behind any of those 3 doors. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That was your first time witnessing those tragedies. Yours is another door. So tell me, how did you feel looking behind those doors? Was it frightening? Saddening? Heart-wrenching? Well, let me tell you something. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. If the next door you open is yours, will you be able to bear it? Will you be able to accept your own tragedy? It's one thing seeing others suffering, but your own. If you have to face emotions you wanted to keep buried, secrets you wanted to keep hidden away, and pain you wanted to forget, do you think you'll be able to accept them as your own? If you can't, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't accuse you of running if you chose not to reclaim your old self. Nothing wrong with erasing your memory of something if it was so bad you didn't want to face it in the first place. Let it be rewritten as someone else's story. That'll make it a whole lot easier on you. Because you never know, the most unfortunate tale of them all may well be your own. Or perhaps that goes for everything about you. You won't know till you see it? Well, that's true enough. But once you do, there might not be any turning back. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. If it turns out you're someone from behind the next door, then perhaps you're my... of course he's gonna, like, trail off there. Alright, so what is this place? Oof, talk about some hard-hitting questions. I'm probably not the one who will be able to answer that for you. I don't have a very deep connection with this mansion, you see. I swear it, I got nothing to gain from lying, do I? It's my regrets that have turned me into this. I wasn't summoned here by no one. That said, There is one thing I can tell you. This place summons people. People who have ties to something that happened long, long ago. No one knows anything even happened. I didn't know either, till she told me. Though I haven't the foggiest of how much of it is true or not. Okay, the maid, I'm guessing. Or the white-haired girl? Those are the two constants, is the maid is always here and the white-haired girl is always here. Are you here because you were summoned by her? Or did you come here of your own will to find someone? If you came here of your own volition, and you weren't summoned by her, then mayhaps you'll be the one who can break the curse. The curse of the witch. And the big question, who is the maid? Might as well ask her that directly, but she won't say till you've regained your old self? I see. Well, in that case, if you want to know, you know what you gotta do. It's entirely up to you whether you make an ally or an enemy out of her. Ooh, so I'm wondering if the decisions I make will determine that about either she's friendly with me or not. There's no guaranteeing she's even right in the head. You never know. Maybe you're not the only one who hasn't found themselves. I haven't talked that much in a long time. Feels great. And now that I've got that out of my system, I should be able to get some good sleep. You're probably still wandering in the dark right now, but I really hope you find the outcome that you want. And I mean that. You can either reclaim your old self, or you can toss it aside. The choice is yours, either way. Now, since it looks like your escort isn't showing up, what do you plan to do next? How about taking a look around the place, since you've got a little free time? Could you come across some things you wouldn't want with her around? Oh, right. If you're gonna go exploring, I've got the perfect thing. Stick your hand into the canvas, would you? Oh gosh, okay. The painting was still wrapped in an impenetrable darkness. A perfect, all-consuming void. The man had told you to put your hand into it. Oh, okay, another choice. So let's save. You know what? It didn't seem to do anything bad for us last time, so we'll reach into the frame again. Why not? You extended your hand for the painting. The moment your fingertips brushed against the darkness, it swallowed your entire hand up to the wrist. Ah, no, not there. That tickles. A little to the right. As the man in the painting had instructed, you groped around the inside of the darkness. Before long, you felt something hard at your fingertips. Clenching the object, you withdrew your hand. Your arm was still intact. You spread your fingers, and there you found a key. Oh, okay, so I wonder what would have happened if I had refused. Would I have just, like, ended there? I wouldn't be able to explore, or at least, like, open something important? I guess it's the difference of, it's like the guy in the painting said, like, either you want to find out the truth, or you just want to basically be ignorant to it and just, like, don't go looking any further. Oh, that tickled. With that key, you can access the master bedroom. A while back, she tossed it into me. Okay, so the maid wants to hide that for some reason. The damned litter bug. So yeah, it ain't mine. Don't worry about giving it back. However, I bet there's something worth seeing in there if she felt the need to toss that key. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get some sleep. You take care. If you happen to learn my name, come pay me another visit, should the fancy strike you. Having said that, the painting fell quiet. In your hand lay a small key. It seemed rather antiquated, and vaguely familiar. Silence once again drew over the corridor. You stood there all alone, no sign of the maid. After considering it for a few moments, you decided to explore the mansion on your own. Oh my gosh, the game's gonna open up to me! I'm not literally being taken by the hand and told to go here and here and here. Holy jeebus. Wow, there is a lot. Okay, let's save real quick. Oh boy, I guess I could always just start going in order. I mean, the master bedroom, I'm guessing, is the big thing. I wonder what would happen if I call for the maid. I will not do this. I want to do some exploring when she's not around. Maybe she's hiding stuff. So I guess we'll just go down the list. So we'll go to the entrance first. Hopefully the order I do things in isn't going to make too much of a difference. You made your way to the mansion's entrance. There was no one around, nor any source of light. Groping through the darkness, you found the front door, which is sealed shut with a heavy bar. Oh, someone doesn't want me to go, or they've locked this mansion so nobody else could come in because bad things always seem to befall people who come into this mansion. You pressed against the bar, but it remained firmly in place. The door did not budge either. It seemed you could not leave the mansion. Burn the witch. Crucify the impure. When you made to step away from the entrance, you heard a muffled voice. You looked around, but were unable to determine the source of the voice. Nor could you be sure whom you had heard earlier, or either. Giving up on finding anything at the entrance, you decided to head somewhere else. Alright, we'll go to the fireplace. You made your way to the room with the fireplace. What remained of the fire crackled weakly, leaving the room in a veil of darkness. You remembered that you had awoken here. Out of sheer curiosity, you sat down in the rocking chair you had been asleep in. Creak, creak, creak. It was as soothing as a cradle to a baby, and in short order, you found your consciousness drifting from your grasp. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Oh, you're such a cynic, but that's okay. Say, do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Your eyes slowly slid open. Fragments of a pleasant dream lingered in the back of your mind. The crackling of a fire, the taste of warm wine. However, there was nothing pleasant about the fireplace sitting before you. No warm, crackling flames. In fact, the brisk air of the room overpowered the remnants of embers left there. A chill ran down your spine. Afraid you might freeze stiff if you stayed there much longer, you resumed your exploration of the mansion. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to check out, but it seems like I'm kind of going through them pretty quickly, so we'll go to the den next. Now, the rose garden, I imagine, is going to be like a big thing, because the rose garden is brought up over and over again. Alright, and we have Jacapo's room here, and it probably looks pretty similar to how he left it. The scent of cigarette smoke lingered in the den. However, the room was silent. Not even an echo of the men's chattering remained. Ooh, something was moving. Billiards balls. There was no one present to strike the balls. They rolled spontaneously around the table. The paths they traced across the surface were rough and erratic, contrasting that of when the former master had held the cue. The spheres collided awkwardly with one another, not a single one coming close to the pockets. As an experiment, you pulled a ball off the table. In response, the paths of the balls became even clumsier. Having lost one of their targets, they began bouncing aimlessly off the cushioned walls of the table. As you stared intently at the table, a man's voice rang out from somewhere in the room. Hey, it is Jacapo. Spinning around, you saw a silhouette of a man. However, you could not make out what the man was saying. The man thrust his finger at the table. He appeared to want you to return the ball. You reluctantly placed the billiards ball back on the table. When you did, the balls resumed endlessly colliding with one another, never landing in any of the pockets. That's like they're just stuck here, haunting the mansion and the place where they spent most of their time, which means we'll probably find Mel or Nellie in the rose garden. You looked up to find the shadow gone. Having determined the maid was not going to appear in the den, you exited the room, making your way back into the corridor. So if that's the case, then the cellar, maybe we'll see Maria there, the stained glass window. I'm just trying to think of maybe where would we see, I forget the name of the merchants, where he would be. So we'll go to the rose garden next. It's nice to have some light here. Look, your head is covered in roses. Oh, well, I mean, we know who this is. Oh, Nellie, you've got petals on the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to. Though you could hear the sound of children laughing, you could not see them. Regardless, their cheerful voices warmed your heart. You decided to linger there in the garden for some time. Along with the children's laughs wafted a sweet fragrance. The wind blew, whisking flower petals up into the air. It was an enchanting sight. But after a while, the roses began to wilt. You could no longer hear the children's voices either. A young man stood alone in the withered rose garden. As you drew nearer, you called out to the youth. The young man did not appear to notice you. He merely stood there, staring vacantly across the garden. The youth muttered something in a lifeless voice. This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted a normal, peaceful life. I can't bear being alone. I can't take this. Someone get me out of here. Oh God, tell me that I'm not the bad one here. You tried to call out to the young man several times, but he did not seem to hear you. He simply continued muttering to himself. Before long, the youth's shadow faded into nothing. Unable to bear the chilly air any longer, you stepped back into the mansion. Alright, down to the cellar. Maybe we'll find that note that Maria left on the floor. When you descended into the cellar. Oh, you heard beast-like snarling. That's right, that's where he first... The cellar was where the white-haired girl was found killed, and he just attacked everybody. Along with it came a sour odor and the sound of ripping flesh. You could not see the beast, but that did not make it any less unpleasant. You made to retreat from the cellar. Game over, I died, but before you could, a shadowy creature lunged at you. You reflexively squeezed your eyes shut. After several moments, you opened your eyes again to find a silhouette of a man standing in place of the beast. You and the shadow stared at one another for some time. You asked the shadow a question, and the shadow responded. Ooh, I don't like that. Ah! I did not like the original sound of the beast, but that is much more like electronic sounding. However, you had no idea what it said. The shadow seemed to be trying to communicate something to you, but trying to make sense of something you could not understand was pointless. Having no reason to remain in the cellar any longer, you made your way back upstairs. I imagine this guy is like, no, I do not want to be in here longer than I have to be. Alright, off to the library. The smell of dusty books filled the air of the library. You approached a shelf to examine one of the books. Ooh! And suddenly, an avalanche of them came falling to the floor. You stared blankly at the mountain of books. They had fallen down on their own, but they showed no signs of putting themselves away. Since no one else was there to do it, you began placing the books back on the shelf. 1, 2, 3, a dozen. And as soon as you had gotten them all back up, they came crashing back down again. You wished very much to implore of the maid's assistance, but she did not appear to be in the area. Pretending you had not seen anything, you made your way back to the hallway. Alright, stained glass window. You approached the stained glass window. An array of pews was arranged facing the stained glass. There seemed to be an air of tranquility about the room. You sat down in one of the pews and stared quietly forward for some time. For a moment, you felt like you were on the verge of recalling something, but ultimately, the memory never managed to surface. The maid did not appear to be there. Where could she have gone? You decided to resume exploring the mansion. Alright, so here's the big one, the master bedroom, of which she hid the key away. So there's something there. Something she doesn't want me to find. You inserted the key you had been given into the door's keyhole, and with a twist, the door opened. The master bedroom was shrouded in darkness, much like every other room in the mansion. It had evidently been left unused for some time. The air in the room was stale and forlorn. Master! A voice seemed to ring out from somewhere. Come on, get up. Up with you. Master! See? What did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Without warning, your whole world took on bright, vivid colors. Light streamed through the window, illuminating a well-lived bedroom. A woman's silhouette stood before you. Wait a sec. Don't you hide under your bedspread. Get out of there. Oh, but Master, you agreed I could open the windows. Don't worry, I put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of leaves. You tried to call out to the silhouette, but it did not respond. Reaching out for her, Your hand simply passed through her body. It did not seem to be you she was speaking to. Perhaps you were looking at a scene from some other period of time. Oh, are we about to go into another door? Am I being pushy? As pushy as I feel right now? Hee, I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible, but I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality, too. Now, hear me out here. That's not everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice, too. We agreed we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me, too. This is just the beginning, after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to before? Where should we begin? Oh, I know. We can get this place cleaned up. Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place. Hee hee. So that was someone I'm guessing has not been introduced yet? It could be the white-haired girl. Her hair was kind of short like it was with the beast door, but when the woman's shadow faded away, the master bedroom transformed back into its old dreary state. Except she called it whoever she was speaking to, Master. Master, can you say my name? You were unsure how to describe the urge welling up within your breast. You could not say her name. You stood unmoving in the master bedroom for some time, but it did not appear anything else was going to happen, so you decided to head somewhere else. Well, we go back to the stained glass window. Okay, let's do that. You returned to the room with the stained glass window. You had searched throughout the mansion, but had no luck finding the maid. You felt somewhat tired, though you were not quite sure whether it was physical exhaustion or otherwise. You had little interest in doing any more moving about. Taking a seat in one of the pews, you gazed up at the stained glass. Staring solemnly down back at you was the archangel said to weigh the souls of the deceased. Perhaps he was trying to weigh your soul. Alright, so it looks like all we can do right now is call for the maid. Master, Master. Oh, there you are, Master. You gave me quite the scare. After returning from the third door, you've disappeared without a word. Oh my, it was I who disappeared? That is quite strange. I did not go anywhere, as far as I'm aware. Nevertheless, I am glad to have found you. I would have been at a complete loss for what to do if I had ever been separated from you again. I did indeed say that when you first arrived. I have been waiting for you to return for a very long time. For centuries, as a matter of fact. That would make me a ghost, then, you say? Hee hee, I am very much not a ghost. Would I be able to hold your hand if I were? Vampire. Sorry, I say that a lot. I'm leaning into it, damn it. She's got that white skin. She's super old, but still looks young. Vampire. Saying this, the maid took your hand. It was cold enough to send a shudder down your spine, and completely devoid of life. Though, as chilling as it may have been, you still took comfort in the feeling of her hand in yours. The maid looked down at you with gentle eyes. After a few moments of silence, she sat down beside you. The stained glass is quite beautiful, is it not? Every time I see it, it brings a tranquility to my heart. A dreadful, deep-rooted curse afflicts this mansion. However, this room is the one exception. Can you feel the purity that hangs in the air, Master? Yes? What is it, Master? You are correct. The stained glass window has been shattered, and was not present in the time period of the previous tale. I wonder, perhaps it is because the mansion Okay, hold on, let's try that again. I wonder perhaps it is because the mansion we are in presently resides in a realm separate from the real world. We are in a world constructed from myriad memories and histories. I am sure that when you regain your old self, Master, the mansion too shall be restored to its original state. So do try and remember, alright? Hee hee. Oh, yes. Where did you go in my absence, Master? I see. So you explored the mansion then. And did you find anything noteworthy? Memories? I'm not quite sure what you mean. How peculiar. As a servant of this house, I pride myself in being aware of most everything present within these walls. I wonder whose memories they could be. The key to the master bedroom. Why did I throw away the key? I beg your pardon? You say a painting told you. You could see perplexity on the maid's face. You had never seen her make such an expression before. I know nothing of any key. Oh, master, you should not tell jokes meant to cause others discomfort. But a talking painting, you say? You seem to have a rather vivid imagination. Maybe you can tell the next tale, master. I am only teasing. Now, that was a nice break, but we should get moving. Tale I'm about to show you is the last of the mansion's memories. Wait, already? What? I am certain you will remember yourself after seeing it. To our feet. The final door is not far. This feels way too soon. The game is much longer than this, is it not? And please do not let go of my hand. Holding your hand, the maid led you to the far end of the room. Crossing beneath the stained glass window, a metal door came into view. Our destination lies at the top of these stairs. There we will find one last door. You pushed open the metal door, revealing a long, long spiral staircase. It will be a bit of a walk, so let us be on our way. And please do watch your step. This is called an observation tower. Normally, towers such as this were built in castles or churches, so it is rather strange for there to be one in a mansion. The last door I wish to show you, Master, resides at the top of this tower. Rectangular windows were carved out of the stone in several locations along the way up the spiral staircase. You attempted to peer out one of the windows, but all you could see was a thick layer of fog. Perhaps the maid's suggestion that the mansion did not presently reside in reality was in fact correct. With each step upward, you found yourself gripped by an indescribable sense of anxiety. The feeling somewhat resembled irritation or annoyance. Sensing this, the maid tightly gripped your hand. There's nothing to worry about. You will be fine. Maybe he's just afraid of heights. It is all in the past. No matter what may happen, so long as you do not let go of my hand, you have nothing to fear. You and the maid continued climbing the stairs. Up and up, around and around, marching ever nearer the supposed final door. High up in the tower, as the light from below drew distant, a rotten wood door came into view. Patches of what appeared to be blood stained the surface, and holes had been bored into it with sharp objects of some sort. Oh, that's an inviting sounding door. You heard a scream from far below, where no one should have been. This is just getting better and better. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. Burn her, burn her, burn her. You were struck with fear. The next moment, the maid opened the door. And then you slowly descended into darkness. Alright, so that will wrap up this episode with yet another sad end to the door, with the white-haired girl being driven mad and never being able to learn from Jacapo that he truly did love her. Jacapo being betrayed by his best friends and living the rest of his life surrounded by opulence and wealth and success, but not love, and dying alone. And with that, we are now getting to the fourth door, apparently the final door. And the maid is just being more and more mysterious, especially supposedly hiding away that key and acting vague about it. That scene that we saw in the master bedroom was someone that I don't think that we've met before. So we will check out and see what this fourth door is all about. Of course, I'm excited to see what horrible tale we're going to get into with this one. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to catch you next week for episode 8. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Nana, Kaori Mikoto, Revealing Storm, Tequila Mockingbird, Jared Fan, Saya, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, Icognito, Locus Corolus, Pancake G, and Mad Goldsmith.